Hi everyone, it's me, your friendly Wadadli yogi, ready to do another yoga sequence. Let's get it together. All right, this one is focused on your hips, and since a lot of us are at home right now, I'm gonna be using props, but there'll be stuff, they're gonna be things that you have around the house. For example, for today's practice, if you don't have a yoga blanket already, let me just back that up a minute. So for those of you who regularly practice with me and have props at home, get your regular props, okay? Because you'll know when you need them. For those of you who are joining me for the first time with props for a sequence like this, get at least 2 big beach towels or 2 big bath towels, and then fold them in half. So I've got this one folded in half. Yes. And then with this first towel, I'm just gonna make a little roll right here. Roll, I'm sorry, those are cat toys because of the king. And I'm gonna take my little roll and put it, if this were the top of the mat, this would be maybe 1/3 of the way to the top of the mat. Then the second beach towel, I'm also gonna fold in half. So I folded this in half. Oops. And then I'm gonna fold it in half again. And then in half again. And then in half again. And then one more time in half again. Okay. So this is for the people, this setup is for the people who do not have props, okay? Hold this space right here. Just gonna hold space for you. For the rest of you who have props and practice with me regularly, it's gonna be 1 block on the high height, 1 block on the medium height, right? Okay. For those of you who do not have, for those of you using the towels, I'll get this together pretty soon here, I promise. You're going to come back onto your back, onto your elbows first, right? Balance yourself. And then get the roll right where your shoulder blades meet. Right there, you should feel an immediate opening. Make sure your shoulders are not resting on the roll. At the minute I lay down like this, my back cracked. It's so awesome. And then the blanket here is like a pillow for your head. And then bring your arm into cactus arms. So you're laying with the back of your head on a blanket, and you're getting a little bit of opening across the chest with the roll, and you have the cactus arms relaxing your shoulders away from the ears. If you want to stay here with your knees bent, go ahead, or if you feel like your lower back is okay, go ahead and send both of your feet out. Walk your feet wide and let your feet just hang out, and just try to relax. Okay, stay right here. Those of you with your towels, stay right here. For those of you who have the yoga props, usually have yoga props, let me show you what that would look like. 1 block on the high height, 1 block on the medium height. That medium block, I'm coming back on my elbows, it's gonna go right where my scapula meet. And the top block is gonna go underneath my head. And again, just like our colleagues who are on our towels, you can either keep your knees bent or send your feet wide and let your toes hang out to the side. So choose whatever's gonna work for you. And then when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. And let's get ready to practice today. Take a slow inhale in through your nose. And then open your mouth wide and sigh it out. Let's do 2 more like this. Slow inhale in through your nose, connecting with the breath. And then exhale, let it all go. Last one, slow inhale in through the nose, bring the breath all the way up to the crown of your head. And then open your mouth wide, and let it go. From where you are on your mat, begin to feel the mat underneath you. Begin to bring your gaze inward. Maybe You'd like to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your abdomen. And just notice the rise and fall of your chest. Feel your heart beating underneath your hands. Notice the rise and fall of your abdomen. Now would be a good time to set an intention for yourself for today's practice. Maybe you can say on each inhale, I am calm. And maybe on each exhale, I am safe. Or maybe on your inhale, I am. And on your exhale, safe. Or simply whatever mantra you choose to adopt at this time. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. In through your nose. And out through your nose. Thank you for practicing with me today. Let's get ready to go, turning on the music. So wherever you are, whether you're on the blocks or you're on the towel, go ahead and bend your knees. Yes? Okay, and from there, just gonna join those of us that are in the towel posture, because those of you who are on your blocks already kind of know what you're doing. Here we go. So we've bent our knees and our head is on the blanket and our arms or forearms are on the floor. And then what I'd like for you to do here is just to gently, actually just go ahead and lift your hands up to the ceiling and then send your hands behind you. Bring your hands out to the side and then bring them right back by your sides. Let's do 3 more like this. You're just making circles. And because you're over the items, because you're draped over your towels or your blocks, this should feel pretty good. And when you've finished in one direction, reverse. Yes. 2 more. Just 3 in either direction. And then when you've finished and you've come all the way to the end, go ahead and bring both hands up to the ceiling and hook your opposite thumb. And just spread your fingers wide. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, bring both hands behind you, reaching back towards the back of the room. And then take your hands down. Let's switch the crossing of the hands one more time. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands behind you, reaching back with your fingertips. And then when you're ready, go ahead and bring your hands back up to the ceiling, hands back down your side, and go ahead and make your way off of your blankets or your towels. And bring yourself back onto your back and bring your knees into your chest. Roll side to side to see where you are in your lower back. Trying to give your back a break from being in that slight back bend. And then when you're ready, place both feet on the floor. Hands are either at your side or you can choose to place them in cactus arms. Walk your feet wide on the mat and then begin to windshield wiper your knees. First up to the ceiling on an inhale, over to the opposite side on an exhale. Up to the ceiling, inhale, over to the opposite side on an exhale. Up to the ceiling on an inhale, over to the opposite side on an exhale. Let's do 2 more on each side, going with the breath. How are you guys doing today? Are you going crazy with all this quarantine stuff? I think we're on our last set. And wherever you are, the next time your knees point over to the left, go ahead and keep both knees pointed over to the left. Just stay right there, right? So you have options here. Let's talk about your arms first. You can go ahead and send your right arm up behind you along the floor, right? You can also choose, let's talk about legs. If this is okay and this feels okay in your body, you can go ahead and take your left ankle and place it on top of your right knee. So you're reaching through your right fingertips with your hands, maybe even the top of your shoulders on the floor. And then you're making more space in the right side of your hip. And you're probably feeling some stretching all the way down from the top of your right rib cage, from your fingertips. Actually, all the way from the fingertips all the way down, probably where your knee is. And let's go ahead and uncross, bring the knees back up to the ceiling and pause. And then let's go ahead and repeat that all on the right. So we're bringing those knees over to the right. We're gonna pause here thinking whether or not we wanna send our left hand up alongside our body, up alongside behind us. I'll be able to speak soon, I promise. And take your right knee, if that's working, your right ankle, and place it on top of your left thigh. You may notice that things feel a little bit different on this side than on the other. It's the same for me. For instance, I have more tightness on the right glute here, so I'm kind of gripping and I'm having to force myself to relax the right glute into this posture. So I'm just going to tell you, relax your right glute. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. And then go ahead and bring your hand back to normal. Uncross your ankle if it was crossed. Bring both knees up into the ceiling. Lift your hips up and set them back down again. Then go ahead and bring both knees into your chest. Right? So your knees are into your chest and you're rocking side to side. Let's go ahead and send our knees together, actually hip width distance apart, and just make circles with your knees. So we're going 3 in one direction and then 3 in the other direction. Kind of if your knee were a spatula and you're stirring a pot. Ooh, there we go. I keep waiting for these cracks in both hips. Let's go in the other direction one more time. Just to make it even, we'll just do 3 on this side and then 3 the other way. Mostly because I needed to hear the extra cracking going on in my hips. Or should I say I heeded the cracking. And when you're finished, go ahead and set your left foot on the floor. And I'd like for you to reach, take your hands, clasp your fingers, place them over your right shin bone and pull your right knee towards your right armpit. And if this is okay with you and you feel like okay in that stretch, you should feel a stretch in your side hip, in the right side hip along the front of the right hip, then go ahead and send the left foot forward. And then you're getting a stretch across the left hip too. Now since this is an active posture, I'd like for you to flex your right foot, flex the left foot. Roll your toes towards the ceiling. Look down and make sure that your toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale. And then when you're ready, take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right hand out to the side with the palm facing up. And then go ahead and bring your right knee across your body. So some of you will stay right here. Others of you will either look up to the ceiling or turn your gaze towards the right. Now you have to be careful here. We're just getting warmed up and this is a pretty big twist. Also, some of you may want to send that right hand up behind you as well, depending on how flexible you feel in your back today. And then when you're ready, carefully bring yourself onto your back and go ahead and bend the left knee and keep holding on to that right knee. Take your clasp behind your right thigh and then send your right heel up into the sky. How is that? That's pretty intense, isn't it? Try to bring your toes towards your face and make sure you're flexing your foot. Okay? Yes. I know, right? So if this is working for you, send the left foot forward. Ooh, this is so much fun. Yes. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then when you're ready, I'd like for you to go ahead, bend the left knee, bend the right knee, bring the right heel towards your face. Take your elbow, your forearm to the outside, underneath your left. This is ridiculous, I can't even talk. Take your forearm to the outside of your right ankle. Take your right hand to the outside of your right knee. And then just hold it here. Ha! Do you feel that in your hip? If you're okay with this and you're feeling okay, send your left foot straight. So this is pigeon pose. Some of you can probably grab your ankle. Some of you will be interlacing your hands into your toes. However you can get that foot to come towards you, towards your body. Reverse pigeon pose, doing it on your back, and you should feel a tremendous stretching in your right hip in a couple of different places, I would say. Hopefully your left foot is still flexed. And then when you're ready, bend the left knee again. Take the right knee, the right ankle, over the left thigh. And then go ahead and reach it in through and come in for thread the needle. So again, if you want to make this a little bit more intense, you can go ahead and take your clasp hands to your shin bone and then concentrate on bringing the foot closer towards your head. Taking your right arm to move the right elbow, to move the right knee away from the body. I promise I'll be speaking properly really soon. I'm working on it. This feels so awesome and terrible all at the same time. And then finally, let's go ahead and bring that foot back down to the ground, the left knee, the left foot, one more time. Now we're gonna roll completely onto our left side. Bring yourself back into cactus arms if you'd like, but what we really wanna concentrate here is putting the whole right foot flat on the floor. Yes? And then maybe you wanna turn your gaze up to the ceiling. Maybe you wanna keep those cactus arms, or maybe you wanna send your hands a little bit further up along. It's up to you. Or some of my students like to keep a hand here to keep the knee upright. Some of them like to hold on to the foot. We're here for a few more moments. I know I pulled a lot on you guys, all on the right side. And now we have to do all of this on the left. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and roll onto our backs, uncross our knees, and bring both knees into our chest. I'm sure you feel very loose on one side compared to the other side. Just know we're gonna even it up right now. So let's go ahead and take the right foot to the floor and go ahead and bring that left knee in closer towards your left armpit, to be honest. And then go ahead and flex the left foot. And then if this is working for you, go ahead and send the right foot out in front of you. Right knee is flexed, right foot is flexed. Right heel is pressing into the ground, right toes are pressing up towards the ceiling. And your shoulders are on the floor, you're not straining here. You're just pulling that knee closer towards your armpit. Left knee, left armpit. Leaving a nice, tremendous stretch across the top of the hips. Oh, it feels so good. They say we're stretching close to 17 different muscle groups here in the hips. So this is why we kind of have to like go a little bit in when we're doing hip work, because there's so many muscles to stretch. We have to make sure we get all of them. Okay. Now the next thing we'd like to do is go ahead and bend the right knee, and then we're taking our hand behind the left hamstring, clasping our fingers. Maybe you want to clasp on the other side, and then go ahead and send the left heel up into the sky. Try to bring the left toes closer towards your face, and you're flexing the left foot because you're pressing up actually through the left heel, right? Another thing you're doing is you're activating your quadriceps. This is an active stretch. The more you contract your quadriceps, yes. The more you contract your quadriceps, your hamstrings will stretch and let go a little bit more, believe it or not, right? So if this is working for you, you can stay here, or you can do the brave and adventurous thing and go ahead and stretch your newly released right hip forward. I can't tell you how much nicer it feels on this side, on the right side, than on the left right now. Make sure you can look down and see your toes and they're pointing up. And then see if you can bring your foot closer to your face. Grab on wherever you can. The whole point is to release the hamstrings and to activate that part of the hips and the connection points. Yes. We're almost there with this sequence. Go ahead and bend the right knee again. This time we're gonna take the left foot towards the right. And we're gonna hook our right wrist underneath the right ankle. And then we're gonna take the left hand to the left knee. And all we're gonna do here is flex the left foot and bring the left foot closer to our face. So this is reverse pigeon pose, right? Go ahead and send the right foot forward. It's like you're cradling your foot. I'm sure your hip is going, why? And again, you have the option to stay here if this is too much, or you can send the heel forward. We're just here for a few more breaths. Did I mention that hips are where we store emotions? You want to be careful, especially if you're with family and you don't live alone like I do. And afterwards, you do this hip workout and you end up popping off on folks, right? Let's go ahead and bend the right knee again. And this time, we're going to place the left foot across the right thigh and reach in and through for thread the needle. Again, I have my class sort of on the shin bone. I normally go here, but today I'm really trying to go into those hips. I'm using my left elbow to move the left thigh away from me while I'm trying to bring the left toes closer towards my face. And I have my feet flexed as well because I'm trying to make sure that I maintain active stretching here. Woo! And now when you're ready, go ahead and set your right foot on the ground. Bring your hand into cactus arms if that feels okay for you. And then let's go ahead and stomp. I call it a stomp move. Stomp your left foot onto the ground by rolling onto your right side. Again, your options are to stay here in cactus arms, or you can choose to send the left arm up and above you, or you can go ahead and take your right hand, move your left knee away from you, take your right hand maybe to your left foot, keeping that knee up into the ceiling, but just try to relax. You can face the ceiling, you can face away from you, or you can face towards the wall, whatever you'd like to do here with your head, it really doesn't matter. We're just trying to get you to relax the right glute, which is a problem I have. Can't ever do that. And give the new meaning to the word tight ass. And then, once you're here and you can let go, pause. Maybe you want to push that left knee, thigh away from you as you try to stomp the left foot down on the floor. And then go ahead and inhale, bring yourself back onto your back. And then uncross and bring both knees into the chest. And then just rock from side to side. Some of you are going to roll onto your side and pause. Some of you are going to go ahead and come back and forth until you come up into a sitting position. And then when you're ready, go ahead and unfurl your blanket or your towel. And then you have some padding for your knees here, okay? So some of you will undoubtedly have to have a little bit more padding, and that's why we're folding the things in half. Maybe you want to stack your blankets. Maybe you want to fold those in half too. And then go ahead and bring your knees on your blanket and your hands off the blanket. So knees, tops of the toes are on the mat. Hands and tops of the toes are on the mat. Turn your fingers out so that your index fingers are pointing towards the frontage of the mat. Make sure that your knees are hip width distance apart. Make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists, hips are over the knees. And then when you're ready, if this is your situation, remove the slouch by bringing the low and the front hip points, the low ribs and the front hip points together. And then when you're ready, I'd like for you to lift your head and chest, arching your lower back, coming into cow. And then exhale, round, round, round. coming into cat. If you notice, please repeat, I'm not bending my elbows. I'm just barely moving my torso. I've grounded down through my fingers and I've grounded down to the tops of my toes. And I'm just inhaling and bringing my head and chest forward. And then I'm exhale, round, round, round. I'd like for you to do this for 3 more times on your own breath. Take your time, slow inhales, slow exhales. And when you're finished your last one, I'd like for you to come to a point of stillness in that starting position, in tabletop position. And we're going to talk about this for a second. So I'm meeting all of you in tabletop position now. By now you finished your last round of cat and cow. And basically, this is a foundational posture. So at any given time in practice, if you come back here, you'll be all right. You'll be using the same muscles we need for you to use roughly in downward facing dog. That being said, I'd like for you to go ahead and send your right toes along the floor. Make sure your hips are squared towards the floor and that you didn't, a lot of times when you go on to one hip, this hip pops out, so square the hip underneath you. Hopefully you got that. And then when you're ready, go ahead and lift the right heel up. Pause here. Again, hips towards the floor. Lift the left hand up. Press down through the right hand. Reach forward with the left fingertips. Inhale. Exhale. Take an inhale and then your next exhale, knee to nose. Inhale up. Knee to nose. Inhale up. Last one. Knee to nose. Inhale up. Reach, reach, reach. Come back to your starting position. Not so bad, right? Let's do the other side. Send the left toes back. Lift the left heel up. Make sure your right hip is not all the way off to the side and your right hip is wrapped underneath you. And then when you're ready, send the right hand forward. Reach forward with your fingertip, reach back to your heel. Make sure the top of the right foot is pressing onto the mat and you're pressing down to that shin bone. Take an inhale. And then exhale. And your next inhale, exhale, knee to nose. Inhale up, knee to nose. Inhale up. Last one, knee to nose. Inhale up, reach, 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 reach. Come back to your starting point and pause. Now let's go ahead and widen the knees. Big toes together. Heels back to your hips. Walk your hands forward and bring your forehead to the ground for child's pose. Hold your child's pose. While you're here in this posture, breathe evenly. Breathe evenly through your nose. Breathe evenly in through your nose, out through your nose. In through your nose, out through your nose. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. All right, make your way back into your tabletop position. Yes. And I'd like for you to go ahead and set your right foot forward. Okay? Once your right foot is forward, I want you to walk your knee back, your left knee back, a little bit more. And then when you're ready, bring yourself up, bring your hands onto your right thigh. Firm your right hip underneath you. Turn your gaze forward and then send your hands up into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Take an inhale here and an exhale. On your next inhale, bring yourself back and exhale, lift yourself up. Inhale, cactus arms back bend. Exhale, lift up. One more. Inhale and then exhale. Yes. Pause here. Bring your hands out to the side. Turn to your right and pause. How is this? Is this interesting? Move your shoulders away from your ears. Bring your palms together. Hinge forward. And now hook your left elbow over your right knee. Some of you are going to stay right here. Others of you are going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and bring yourself into a low lunge with a twist. Some of you are going to stay right here. Some Some of you are gonna widen your arms, spreading in a flight. Yes. Pause here and smile. And then one more inhale, one more exhale. Bring your palms back together. If your knee is lifted, hold it there. Those of you whose knees are on the floor, leave it there. We're pausing here for a few more moments. Now go ahead and send your hands down to the floor. If your knee is lifted, bring your knee down to the floor and pause here. Let's go ahead and step the right knee back to meet the left, and then step the left foot forward. Doing it on the other side. So once we have the left foot forward, we're gonna slide the right knee back. Yes, you're still on the blanket though. Tops of the toes are pressing into the mat. Then you're gonna bring yourself up onto your left hip, hands on your left thigh, and then firm your left hip underneath you. And then when you're ready, reach your hands up to the ceiling for the low lunge. Yes. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, bring yourself into cactus pose. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus pose. Inhale up. Exhale, cactus pose. Inhale up. Last one. Ooh. And then bring yourself all the way back up and pause here. Send your hands out to the side. You know where we're going. We're going to the left now, right? And then we're going to pause here for a moment, reaching through our hands, expanding our wingspan. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to your heart. Palms together. Inhale. And on the exhale, hinge forward. Hook your right elbow over your left knee. Some of you are going to stay here. Some of you are going to tuck the back toe and lift the back knee. Some of you are going to stay here. Others of you are going to spread your hands wide to fly. Whatever you're doing, breathe evenly. Breathe slowly, deeply, and breathe evenly. Those of you with your hands split, bring your hands palms back together. And then everyone, pause here for a moment. And then go ahead and turn your gaze back towards the floor. Lower the back knee. And then step the left knee back to meet the right. Let's pause here in the middle. One round of cat and cow. Another round. Oh, I think another round is warranted. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Widen your knees, bring your big toes together. Bring your heels back to your hips and walk your hands forward. Forehead to the mat. Okay, my loves. Getting to the peak posture for today's mini practice. Let's go ahead and bring ourselves back into our tabletop position. Let's take our right foot forward again. We kind of did this a little bit before, but this time I want you to walk your right foot just a little bit forward of your right hand. So it's to the outside of your right hand. Then I'd like for you to bring your hands onto your right thigh. Then I'd like for you to go ahead and bend your left knee. If this is okay, you may just be here today, and that might be it for you. Some of you will be able to reach back and grab your left foot. And you're just gonna pause right here. You're gonna smile. Get your life together. So I guess this was also hamstrings and hips. And also I'm rushing because I have like 19 things that are due in the next 15 minutes. That's the beauty of yoga. You can just crank out a quick session. Yes, let's go ahead and bring that down to the floor. Hands to the floor, step the right knee back to meet the left. Left foot goes outside of the left hand, and then walk that left foot a little bit forward. And then when you're ready, bring your hands onto that left thigh underneath you. And then get your lean on, and then bend your right knee. So some of you are gonna stay here. Others of you are gonna reach back, seeing if you can find that foot. Woo! This is a lot, huh? Yes, and one side obviously is tighter than the other side. I was making it look so effortless. on the left, right on the right, it's a hot nightmare. Pause here. I'm working on my smile so it doesn't look like a grimace. The thing is, when you're smiling, you have to let go of where you're holding any tension. It's kind of impossible to smile and hold on to the tension at the same time, even if your smile looks like this. Are we ready to be out of this? Let's go ahead and release that posture. Bring yourself back into your tabletop position. Give me 3 rounds of cat and cow. Inhale to lift your head up. Exhale to go ahead and round. Inhale, head and chest through the shoulders. Exhale to round. Last one. Inhale, head and chest. Exhale to round, round, round. And then go ahead and bring yourself back into a neutral position. And then let's go ahead and make our way back to a comfortable seated position. Pause here for a moment. Before we hit the floor for savasana, I'd like for us to work out our sideways for a little bit. So let's go ahead and cross our legs at our shins. And then lift our hands up to the ceiling. Inhale. Take your right hand out to the right. And then lift your left hand and cup up and over. Look up underneath your armpit. Root your left hip down to the floor. One more inhale. One more exhale. And your next inhale brings you back up. Take the left hand off to the corner. Reach up and over. Root your right hip bone down. Reach up and over. Look up underneath your armpit. I wore deodorant today. I'm so happy about that. Take another inhale and an exhale. And then go ahead and bring yourself up. Forward fold. Go as far as you can. Bring the crown of the head towards the floor. And then go ahead and walk your hands in. Let's switch the crossing of the feet. Rooting down again. Once again, lift your hands up to the ceiling. Inhale. Go ahead and turn your body towards the right. Take your left hand to your right knee and take your right hand behind you. Lift your head and chest on the inhale. And on the exhale, increase your twist. Take your gaze past your shoulder if you can. And then go ahead and unravel. Bring both hands back up to the ceiling. Reach up. Turn your body towards, I don't know what side this is. It's the left side, isn't it? Right hand to left knee. Left hand behind you. Lift your chest up on inhale. Exhale. Look behind you. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your nose. And then when you're ready, go ahead and unravel. Bring your hands up to the ceiling. Inhale. And on the exhale, go ahead and forward fold. Root down to your sit bones and crawl your hands further away from your body. You should feel a lot more loose in your hips. And then when you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands back up. And let's make your way into savasana. So you have your props here. Feel free to take your towels underneath your head. Sometimes if you have props at home, you can take a pillow or the blocks underneath your calf muscle. Go ahead and lay on your mat and make yourself comfortable, however that looks. Take your palms up to the ceiling. Let your legs hang off to the side. Breathe in through your nose. Open your mouth wide and sigh it out. Savasana. Feel free to take your time and lay here and get the restorative benefits that you need. I'd like to thank you for joining me for practice today. I am juggling some new students in the cohort that I teach and some extra help, so it's been taking a minute for me to get some of these videos up, but I see some of our growing pains being over soon, and I'll be able to have at least one new one of these like every other day or so, as long as the shutdown continues. And I just want to thank you for joining me again, and I don't know where Monk is, but thank you for joining me again, and I really appreciate you. And stay safe and have a great rest of the day.